In Champaign, Illinois, the march to the arch is in full swing. These higher flying Illini now own the school record. 18 straight wins to start a season. Welcome to Throwdown Thursday, brought to you in high definition by Phillips. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brett Musburger alongside my partner, Steve Lavin, and tonight we'll bring you this Throwdown Thursday Big Ten matchup between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the unbeaten Fighting Illini. They're atop the conference, everyone else in pursuit. And the Star Watch shows you Pierre Pierce, and his scoring has actually picked up for the Hawks since the Big Ten season began. Luther Head, perhaps the most underrated player in college basketball, is leading the Illini. So, you know, my partner here, Steve Lavin, when he was the head coach at UCLA, folks, listen to this. 4 consecutive years, a record, he knocked off the #1 team in the nation. Now, we got that here tonight, Steve, and what's the key, my friend? Reveal your secrets.
Well, number one, you got to have some personnel and firepower. There's no question. It's a great opportunity for the Iowa Hawkeyes to shock the world. It's us against the world when you're at Assembly Hall. The key's right there. Avoid the Illini knockout punch. Sometimes it happens in the first half, sometimes in the second. To do that, you got to sustain your execution, get great looks, and sustain your effort. Someone has to step up big for the Hawkeyes. Maybe Eric Hansen, maybe a career night out of a starter, and then you got to catch a break, Brett. Whether it's an official's call, a bounce of the ball, something's got to go your way. Maybe somebody fouls out.
First possession belongs to the Illini in their home orange. Eddie Hightower, the veteran official, threw it up. We got a held ball right off the top, and so it will go over. Here are the starting lineups, and for now 19 straight games, the familiar starting 5 for the Illini. For Iowa, they need Hansen, Eric Hansen, the center, to contribute some points here tonight.
Really like this Hawkeye team, the main three. Pierre Pierce right there with the ball. Dangerous slasher, can put it on the deck. A creator, can also stroke it from long range.
Out on top to the point, Horner misfires. Illini rebound.
Got a great home court. 60-2 over the last 4 years here at Assembly Hall. 15 straight wins.
They feed Augustine low. In the paint, has to send it back. Williams back to Augustine, who's doubled, and a foul called on the Hawks. Augustine at the free throw line. So, Coach Bruce Weber, his second year as the Illinois head coach, replacing Bill Self, who moved over to Kansas. He moved here from Southern Illinois after a long tenure as Gene Katie's right-hand man. And he's done a remarkable job here with the Illini. Has them on top. Clearly the #1 team in the nation as of right now. And Augustine puts them on the board. Meanwhile, the one-time Indiana star, Steve Alford, 6th year as the Hawkeyes head coach, just missed an NCAA bid last year. Looking to get the Hawks back to the big show this season as Augustine's 2 free throws put the Illini ahead.
Man-to-man defense by Bruce Weber's Fighting Illini, a disciple of Gene Katie at Purdue for 20 years as an assistant for the Boilermakers.
On the steal here, and a foul called as D. Brown was picking a pocket, and he's assessed the personal foul. He does not agree with the call by Ted Hillary.
Boy, the Orange Crush ready to go tonight, chomping at the bit, even with the extreme chilly weather conditions. They are good to go.
Bruner's wingman sends it back out on top. This is Eric Hansen from the corner. Nailed the 3-ball.
Boy, Haluska, transfer from Iowa State, can really shoot the ball when he gets his feet set like that. As good a stroke as anybody in the Big Ten.
Powell in the paint. Comes back. Goes after it again. And still can't get it to fall. And Greg Bruner, the junior from Charles City, Iowa, finally cleans up here for the Hawks. Iowa leads it on that 3-2.
Iowa looking pretty comfortable in that zone defense. The Illini like to go against man-to-man where they can use their passing, their motion offense.
Good save. And from the corner, Hawkeyes mission. And off come the Illini again. D over on the right-hand side. Across the court by Williams. The three is short by Head. Out of bounds, Illini basketball.
Yeah, I think this zone defense by the Hawkeyes has the Illini a little bit stagnant. Sometimes against zone, you get tentative. You don't move the ball as well. You don't get as much ball movement or man movement.
Almost stolen. D. Brown saves it. Williams whips it back. Here's the three from Powell. And the Hawks with that 1-point lead. D. Brown goes for the steal, and the foul is going to be called on Jeff Horner this time. Well, the third member of our team is Aaron Andrews. We check in with Aaron.
Well, Brent, lately, Illinois head coach Bruce Weber has been looking for anything to continue to motivate his team. He's been using these John Wooden books, taking inspiring quotes from him. He told me yesterday that he even told his team 1 week, hey, you got to beat this club by 30 points. If you don't do, you're not living up to your potential. But the motivation for this week is let's take it one game at a time. Brent and Steve, that is so important with the Illini facing Wisconsin on Tuesday. He doesn't want them looking ahead. He wants them focusing right here on Iowa, guys.
All right, and Augustine missing, so the Illini sluggish at the start of the game. Pierce misfires. That would have been a big moment for the Hawks. Williams trying to apply the pressure. D off a pump fake. Nails it. And the Illini lead it 4-3 at the 16:48 mark.
Coach Alford alternating his defenses, trying to keep this Illini team out of rhythm. Try and keep them off balance, give them different looks. Can't go fastball all night against this team. Got to change it up. Curveball, slider, then come back with the fastball.
Pierce sends it back on the outside to Hawkeyes. And a whistle prior to the shot. 3-second violation sends it over. On the turnover, the Illini ball with a 1-point lead.
It's a good look, but Bruner probably needs to take that shot. Reminds me a lot of Brian Cardinal, played at Purdue a couple years back, going way back. Dave Cowens, very tough, rugged player Bruner is, capable of shooting the ball from long range, but really nice around the basket area.
Brian Cardinal's dad, the director of basketball operations here, long-time trainer, and the Illini are sloppy here, Steve. This is not what we're accustomed to at the start of a game from a Coach Weber Illini team this year.
Well, as Aaron talked about, the challenge of coaching teams that are unbeaten, #1 in the country, everyone's patting you on the back. It's tough to keep them razor sharp.
Pierce on the drive, and the Hawkeyes jump back into the lead. So going toe-to-toe, whipped. Augustine couldn't get the handle. And it's Illinois basketball with 26 seconds on the shot. We'll take our first break. Jack Ingram ready to check in for the Illini. They need a spark. So here in Champaign, the Illini sluggish to start this game against a conference rival, trailing for the second time tonight. 5-4 is the count. They have been lethal here at Assembly Hall. 72-3 in the last 75 games. And Wake Forest certainly earlier in the season felt the sting of the Illini, but in that game I remember they jumped on top and never looked back. Here they trail it by a point, Steve.
Well, I think they came out a little step slow, a little bit flat. Augustine has to be ready on dribble penetration from these guards because they will hit you if you are open. If you're not flexed and coiled with your hands ready to help those guards make a second play, then you're sleeping.
From behind Ingram, who's number 50, who checked in during that break for the Illini. So he's Coach Weber's first sub. It's his head, sends it back into Ingram's hands and over finally to D. Brown, the face of this Illini team. Williams puts it down to Powell, rejected by Hansen. That's his specialty. Eric Hansen, 6 block shots against Michigan, and he comes up with a big one here.
Good start for the Hawkeyes. Patient, controlling tempo.
Not letting the higher flying Illini, if you will, get off and running here in the early going. 10 on the shot, and Hansen traveled and turned it over.
He's 7 foot. He needs to just pull up and shoot that shot. If he has a little better angle, he can use it right off the glass. But here he is at the defensive end of the floor, coming over to block the shot. Gets beat off the dribble, but that gets back in the play to block that shot.
Brown, dribble pass, and Powell can't finish, but Ingram's wide open, and he misses. A 4-footer.
Boy, the entire front line, Augustine, Ingram, Powell, missing a lot of bunnies, a lot of chippers right inside. Got to make those.
Alaska misfiring, loose, Head runs it down. This is the young man they want to get into that scoring column. Head's got an open Powell. Underneath, pulls the trigger.
Roger Powell, a tough matchup, a little bit like Carl Landry. He can step away and take slower big men off the dribble to shoot the ball from long range and take smaller players down on the block.
Bruner out to help on top. Pierce puts it down, attacks, no. Illini go for the loose ball. Williams the pull-up. Darren Williams drains the field goal. The Illini lead it by 3.
We're going to talk about it all night, Brent. The key is stopping the Illini runs, not letting this crowd get into the game. Nice back cut.
And going down was Holuska. Weber wants traveling. And while we've got a moment, let's point out a schedule change on ESPN. Next Tuesday, Kentucky at Tennessee, the SEC game will start at 7 Eastern, and then Wisconsin will put that 38-game home winning streak on the line at 9 against these Illini. So just flop the SEC and the Big Ten on your schedule. And here Ingram has picked up his first foul of the game. Hawkeye ball out of bounds, fresh 35 after the foul. Jeff Horner, the point guard, waits now for Pierre Pierce, the Hawks' leading scorer. And having checked in, their first sub is Doug Thomas, the JC number 23. Horner fires, nails the 3 ball. That was a wide open look.
Well, the great extra pass gets the zone defense there. When Horner gets his feet set, he is another dead-eye shooter.
Powell steps out again. Misses his second 3 of the night. Holuska down with the rebound. Both coaches going to their bench here in the early going. Bruner, another 3 off to the left and into Darren Williams' hands.
Iowa's got to make every possession count. Can't waste any possession against this Illini team. Got to take advantage when you have opportunities.
And the pass bounced off a foot in, out of bounds. And the outside shooter.
Here. The share and the sugar, the extra pass. Good execution by Iowa. Great rotation on that ball. Got the fingertips and the seams. Grip it and let it rip.
Rich McBride is checked in. Nick Smith, 2 subs. Augustine back on the floor for the Illini. They go to a bigger D for 3. Into Holuska's hands again. He's been very active. Head to Thomas, and he couldn't quite get a grip. Just a little bit too high. Brown right back on the move. Here comes Nick Smith. Smith to the glass.
Big 7-footer's been coming on for the Illini. Mercurial, kind of mysterious. Got a lot of big guys in this conference that are mysteries in terms of how to motivate. Izzo has one, Katie has one, and Kiefer, Paul Davis.
Holuska, the transfer from Iowa State, can't get into the rhythm quite yet, but he's been very good at the defensive glass. McBride kicked back to the outside. Here comes Brown off the dribble. Offensive foul is called, and that is the second foul on D. Brown here in the early going. Things are not going Illinois' way. For you hoop junkies out there, call your friends. This one is starting to have a little smell about it. The Hawkeyes came in here, and they have looked this team squarely in the eye.
Well, it's ideal if you're Steve Alford. Other than they've wasted a couple opportunities, you need to take advantage, capitalize, because there are only going to be so many against this Illini team. Has an odd rhythm the start of this game, but that's good for Iowa. You don't want the Illini to catch fire. They can slice you up like a side of fries in a hurry.
And Steve Alford just telling his guys, be patient, stay under control. Here's Pierce now, their leading scorer. Flashing to the paint, up with the jump shot, yes! Pierre Pierce. averaging better than 21 points a game in Big Ten play. Off the dribble, Williams kicks corner. McBride, three, no. Battle for the rebound. There was a whistle in underneath. Going to go against the Hawkeyes. We're going to take a break. We're deadlocked at 10 in Champaign. Number 1 Illinois tied with Iowa here in the early going, and as I said at the top of our broadcast, my partner, an unbelievable record against the number 1 ranked teams. I'm telling you, if he'd taken that UCLA team into South Bend, he never would have lost. Who was that guy who was coaching that Notre Dame team? Digger from Bristol. Digger, what are some of the keys, my friend, to knocking off a number 1 ranked team? That was a great job you did against the Bruins.
Well, there's two things you have to do. One, you got to play a head game with the coach as well as the players. When San Francisco came in, they were 29-0 with Bill Cartwright. They were number 1 in the country. We had a pep rally night before the game, and we had the students a half hour in pregame warm-ups, just have a chair, 29-1. And you heard that for the whole half-hour warm-up. Second thing, I think you got to devise a defense. Against Ralph Sampson in Virginia, we played him in Chicago. We played a 1-3-1 zone. They would only go 2-1-2 against it. That enabled us to play a double team on Sampson in the post. We let our wings go to the corner, but Lethell Wilson and I think Jeff Jones and Ricky Stokes, their guards only shot about a combined 12 shots a game. We just let the point man in that zone play them 1-on-2. We said, beat us. Sampson didn't score double figures. We got away with that win.
All right, Digger, and wear a green tie. That's the other thing you got to do in a situation.
The carnation
looks good tonight.
It's all about
the green carnation and the green tie.
All right, the Hawkeyes come down now, deadlocked at 10 against the Illini. They've gone to Mike Henderson, a sophomore guard, number 35, who's on the floor. Ricochet, saved beautifully, and put back in by Thompson. So Thompson, who's off their bench, contributes immediately for the Hawkeyes, and they lead it.
He may be that unexpected contributor we talked about, the 4 keys to knocking off a number 1. Someone has to step up that usually hasn't at this stage in the season.
Nick Smith from the right baseline knocks down his second field goal of the evening.
What a luxury. We have a 7-footer that can step out, face the basket, see over the defense, but also knock down jump shots.
Thompson's open if they can get it to him. Lost the handle. Lose their head, but the Hawkeyes doing an excellent job of rotating back quickly, not letting the Illini get into that withering transition game. They're making them set up and play half court. McBride's got it. Suddenly we're down toward 15 on the shot clock. This is not the kind of game the Illini want to play in. They want to play in the 90s. They're now down toward 5 on that shot clock. Williams, pump fake. Did he get the whistle? No whistle. Air ball. Looking for the foul. Tried to draw it and did not get it. Deadlocked at a dozen. Horner steps out at the free throw line. A little bit of a floater. Thompson tried to crash in. Horner goes after the loose ball. It's on Thompson.
No easy baskets. Solid defense till the end. Very fortunate Iowa not called for the foul. There definitely was contact there on the shot fake. He got Pierre Pierce in the air.
Williams, Augustine, Powell is back on the floor. McBride stays on the floor. And Luther Head for the Illini right now.
Couldn't script a better start for the Hawkeyes at the defensive end of the floor, but offensively, a lot of wasted opportunities. Could come back to haunt him.
To Powell. Augustine is stripped. Off now comes Pierce with great speed. Bounce pass. A beauty to Haluska.
First time all year we've seen Illini just a step slow.
And a foul on Thompson, his second. But he stopped Powell from scoring the field goal.
A lot of bodies. Boy, the Hawkeyes getting out in transition here. Nice 2-on-1 break, dump off. Like the bounce pass in transition by Pierre Pierce. Haluska's had a heads-up game tonight.
Powell at the free throw line. He could tie this game up. Well, from the writers of Rounders, ESPN Original Entertainment presents Tilt. And that's coming up right after the basketball, presented by Toyota tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. I watched the entire first show. Thought the acting was great. Very well casted. Storyline a little confusing, but I'm going to go back so they can straighten it out for me. And if you're a poker player, you're going to love it.
I like a little Siskel and Ebert. Tune into our broadcast, you get a little bit of everything.
Those promos, they give you a too bland, man. You got to add some juice.
I like
it. You got to give it some juice, Steve.
Keep it fresh, original, Brent.
There it is, open man. Darren Williams tracks it down now. They kick it to head. Here's the three. Yes. There is the underrated one. Luther Head, a senior from Manley High School in Chicago.
Big possession here.
Henderson. And he's turned it over. The Illini basketball.
Scattered floor situation. The Illini do a wonderful job of finding the open man, sharing the ball for a good look. Head leading the Big Ten Conference in three-point shooting.
Steve, there's one thing that Alford cannot be happy with. That is the 7th turnover, this one right here, by the Hawkeyes in this game. They got to cut that down.
Well, as I said, defensively, they've been tremendous. Rebounding. They've got the Illini out of any kind of rhythm offensively, but down there on the offensive end, they're not taking care of the ball, not getting good shots, not capitalizing on their possessions.
D. Brown tries to load the post. Augustine gets him on the hip and can't score. Illini ball.
Augustine looking for a foul call, but he has to finish that. Has to be stronger, has to muscle those, get a better angle, gather himself. As we talk about going through the chiclets inside or the honker box, the schnoz box, got to find the rim.
If there is any question about this Illinois team, it's down low when they get up against a muscular team later in the spring and they start to pound it in down low on them in a half-court tournament game. That would be the one question. If these guys from the perimeter come up cold on a given night, they're going to have to punch it out with somebody, and who knows, maybe it'll be tonight against the Hawkeyes. Here's Pierce gliding. Ooh, is he sweet.
He reminds me a lot of a former Steve Alford teammate from that '87 national championship team, Keith Smart.
Smart's the hero. Knocked down the big one.
30-4 that year.
So we'll take a timeout. Steve Alford came in here a 13-point underdog, and he's looking Illinois right squarely in the eye.
Welcome back to Champaign. The Illini leading the Iowa Hawkeyes by a point. You know, this matchup always means a lot to those Hawkeye fans, but tonight it means a little more for Pierre Pierce. You see, he grew up in Westmont, Illinois, just 2 hours away from Chicago, and when it came down to choosing a school, it was between Iowa and Illinois. He told me he chose Iowa because he was going to play right away, but he grew up a big Illinois fan. 8 people here tonight cheering him on, guys, and you know he wants to put on a good show.
Yeah, Aaron, and that was a good shot of his pops up there and the Hawkeye sweatshirt up there. And come on, man, I'll tell you, the parents, football, basketball, they're so anxious. There's nothing they can do. They pull for their kids up there in the stands. We see so many great parents around the country at all of these different venues, and the Illini parents are here tonight, and the Hawkeyes have traveled in here. You can't beat the rivalries in the Big Ten. I mean, it's really something. They drive to all these games. In underneath, Augustine. Terrific low defense again by Eric Hansen.
Well, Iowa forcing the Illini big men to beat them. They're staying at home with all the shooters on the perimeter. 1 for 8 at this point. The Illini from the three-point line. The big men for the Illini aren't finishing.
And Pierce coming in on Williams. Picks up that foul. We've had, Steve, we've had 4 ties and 7 lead changes. I'm really surprised about this call.
Wow.
You got to let them play through that. This is a great officiating crew. I love all 3 of these guys. They're amongst the best in the business. And in a situation, you got to play on.
Incidental contact.
Absolutely.
Right there.
No
advantage.
No foul, baby.
No advantage, no disadvantage.
The Illini up by 1. D. Brown trying to get daylight. Luther Head again. His second 3 of the night.
One of the few times Iowa's broken down defensively on the perimeter. Good look for Head. Poor defense by the Hawkeyes.
If I'm an NBA scout, I come in just to watch Luther Head. And watching him at practice, I think he can play defense in the big show.
Well,
He's got a long reach. He's got that nice outside stroke. He's worth a look at that 2-guard spot from somebody. Here comes Bruner now. Going to the glass.
Love Bruner. Got that Dave Cowens game.
D. Brown kicks it back to the main man. Misfiring this time, but the foul is called against the Hawks.
Well, if you're Steve Alford, you're so frustrated because you have opportunities here. They've broken down the last couple possessions, a wide open 3 for Head, now fouling the 3-point shooter in the corner. Those are the breakdowns you can't afford to have on the road in a place like Assembly Hall. So we see the foul here. Cardinal rule there in basketball, do not foul a jump shooter. Your margin for error is compressed when you come into a place like Assembly Hall, and you cannot afford those type of breakdowns.
And 3 free throws, as you pointed out, Steve. Haluska picking up his second personal foul. He's a key guy, and your point is so well taken. Leave those jump shooters alone. So is Steve Lappin and Aaron Andrews.
That's a hybrid.
I don't know what's got into me on Throwdown Thursday. Throw it down here, bro. We got Iowa and Illinois. Tough game here, 21-18. Now 22, and that's 8 points for Luther Head. Again, he is their leading scorer. You can win a lot of trivia contests asking which of those 3 guards leads the Illini in scoring, and it is Luther, the 6'3" junior, averaging better than 16 points a game. An 18-game winning streak, Steve.
I like the Hawkeyes game plan. Let the big people, the interior people of the Illini, try and beat us. See if they can beat us over the course of the game and try and shut down the perimeter attack of the Illini. Easier said than done, but that's their plan of attack.
Hansen comes far away from the basket. Augustine with him there. Horner loads up Bruner. Bruner's doubled, so the kick now to Horner. Being hounded off his leg, and he has turned it over. Well, tonight, ESPN2 pits 2 of the top scorers of Conference USA and family members. It's Travis Diener and Marquette taking on cousin Drake Diener and DePaul. Throwdown Thursday continues on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern. So if you don't like the flop on tilt, just go over and watch a little more hoops on ESPN2. Here's Head. Williams trying to get some shooting room and can't, so Augustine outside. The Illini have not shot well here.
Well, they're going to continue to give Augustine looks from the perimeter and inside, and then they're going to try and play stifling, stingy defense on Head, Brown, and Williams.
Head has carried the load. Augustine didn't want to take that jump shot. Head again. Misfiring this time, and Hawkeyes will come out running. The Hawkeyes have been stopped by turnovers. They've turned it over 9 times here in the first half. Bruner double teamed it all. Side of the glass, Illini ball. Steve Alford not happy with that shot because he was doubled on it. He wanted that ball rotated back to the outside. Into Augustine. No shot. And foul by the center man, Eric Hansen. And Hansen. So that's the 9th foul here on the Hawkeyes in the first half.
Clearly, this is a grinder. You get in the conference, teams know each other so well. They scout your tendencies. It's much tougher. Each possession counts. This is a game where the Illini aren't going to be able to probably reach their mark of 81 points per game unless the tempo dramatically changes and they're able to create more possessions by forcing that tempo. But Steve Alford loves this grinder pace.
Trailing it by 4. Williams is taking Pierce. Timeout is called. Williams was all over him. He did not want to lose it on a 5-second violation. He alertly called the timeout. And they will go over and talk about it with Alford. Well, folks, let's take a look at this date in college basketball. It was the nation's top 2 teams and top 2 players. Houston and Elvin Hayes against UCLA and Lou Alcindor. A classic in front of 52,000 at the Astrodome. Hayes outplayed Alcindor, scoring 39 points and the go-ahead free throws in the closing minute as the Cougars ended the Bruins' 47-game win streak. Well, let's put the Illini run in a historical perspective here. Indiana, of course, under Bob Knight, the last team to go unbeaten through the entire season and capture the NCAA, 75-76. Tend to forget that also went well over 30 the year before. And Ohio State's great winning streaks. Illinois now at 18, trying to climb up the charts, and the Hawkeyes are killing themselves with turnovers. They've had, the last 4 minutes, they've had 5 turnovers in this game and only 2 field goals.
Look of anguish and frustration over there by the Hawkeye coaching staff.
And Head just glides on in, and this is going to fall. Luther Head has taken this game over for the Illini.
I like this Hawkeye team, but they don't have much depth. I like their starters. I like Doug Thomas coming off the bench, but they do not have a lot of depth. They may be wearing down here a little bit.
Hansen looking to finish, came up short. Run down by McBride. Ingram back on the floor. Luther's going to go. Forces it good. 12 points. The dozen for Luther Head.
Name for the past, Brent. Lester Connor played in the NBA a long time. Reminds me of Luther Head.
Iowa now is trying Carlton Reed. This is Bruner trying to split, forces one, and the Hawkeyes are playing out of frustration right now. They are playing into Illinois' hands and have been ever since they started turning the ball over in bunches.
They've squandered so many opportunities by not capitalizing on their possessions.
Ingram wide open, dreams the three. Alford's got to have a timeout. It's getting away from him. A 9-0 Illini run. And this is orange crush time if Alford doesn't stop the bleeding.
We talked earlier about Luther Head. Really reminds me of Lester Connor. Played at Oregon State for years in the league. Here's that mid-range off the glass. Nice draw and kick. Darren Williams throws it over to Jack Ingram, and Ingram shows at 6'9". With all that strength, he still can step behind the arc and knock him down from long distance.
If I'm Bo Ryan, I click it off and I go start looking at game tapes and I get the defense ready for Tuesday night. The Badgers are putting that 38-game home winning streak on the line against the Fighting Illini. Folks, it is so big. It is so big that we're bringing Dickie V all the way from Florida to take a look at Wisconsin and Illinois. These, of course, Lavin's keys to beating #1. And I'll tell you what, it hasn't been a knockout punch yet, but they're knocking them down for the first time in this game right now.
Well, #2, they have not sustained the execution. They have played with effort. They've played hard, but they have to continue to also play smart. Effort's one thing, but you have to play with a level of intelligence. Make good this extra pass. Don't force.
Pierce on a runner. Stop the bleeding. Got to get him more shots. He's a fine-looking basketball player. Their leading scorer.
And a great playmaker as well. Can score for himself, but also sets his teammates up well.
Thompson back on the floor, went out on Ingram that time. And Powell is covered up on the inside. He plays so much bigger, Powell does, than his size. He's only 6'6", senior from Joliet. And yet he's the four-man for the Illini. Plays about 6'8". So we'll take a break. Illinois 29, Iowa 20. 2:30 to go in the first half.
Steve, I think Greg Bruner is more like Jim Lesketoff, don't you?
The old muscular one from the Celtics. Yeah, Billis, he's reaching back into the history book.
Good, he's catching on. He likes the old school, the retro.
Lesketoff, man, the pants were a lot shorter than in the NBA. off the missed free throw.
That was pre-Walkmans and CDs.
The Illini up 10. Pierce gets in left hand. Tap back, no. And yanked down by the Illini. Warren Carter seeing his first playing time in the game. You can see how they started sluggishly, as cold as the weather, and they've picked it up since. The Hawks had a chance early, and now they have let the Illini get away from them a little bit.
Augustine and Powell combined 1 for 12.
Turnover. Nope. It was deflected by the Hawks. So again, a reminder that Kentucky-Tennessee will be the first game on Tuesday. Then we'll show Illinois-Wisconsin, as I told you a short time ago. Williams will take the ball out. We're going to have a short timeout. Well, we see Coach Bruce Weber over there, folks. As part of his show, it's Grillin' with Weber. Guess who sponsors this? Now, you got to look at it. Now, look at it.
The county market, I mean, you make it a no-brainer. The meat's there. You got the potatoes ready to warm up. And even Snickers cake.
A Snickers cake from the bakery.
Oh, wow. Man. You should see some of the guys who enjoy this.
That is really great.
They've got students here. Now, here's one of the fellas in the Orange Crush. He wouldn't miss. That is his favorite TV show of the week, man. Grilling with Weber. You got to have it.
Tell you what, he'd set a good screen.
What, did they ever have luncheon with Lavin out in the, I mean, that's all they do in L.A. is have lunch.
No, but I was on the grill a lot now. I was getting roasted a lot out there. Talk radio, Letters the editor. And I want that guy to set a double screen.
You coaches, you listen to too much radio, you read too much newspapers. Don't do that.
I want the guy with the apron down low to set a good post. Talk about a double screen. That might be a triple screen.
Ron Zook wants him at left guard tomorrow.
He'll free open a shooter.
I'm telling you. Get out to practice. Ingram, with the shot clock running down, he had to fire up that air ball. So on the violation, it'll go over to the Hawkeyes. You were just what they had me on TV. What?
Oh, he's got an agent. He already wants a show.
Look at this.
Thinks he's Julia Childs. Wants his own show now.
It's either the pizza parlor or a friend saying they've had you on TV.
Dr. Phil cooking. He's got a future.
Here's Luther Head now over to Williams. Kick it back, and here comes Head firing again. Not this time. But he tracks down the long rebound. Final minute coming up here at the first half. Reese, Digger, and Jay, they'll have all the insights from around the country. The Illini have suddenly got a grip on this game, and they did it when the Hawkeyes started turning the ball over in bunches. That was the key to the first half. And suddenly a three ball is hit by Carlton Reed, a freshman guard from Waterloo East High School. Big, big hoop for the Hawkeyes.
Freshmen sometimes don't even realize they're under pressure-packed conditions. They just play.
Here's Powell again. Tapped Ingram, no. Warren Carter tries to reach back for it, left hand, no. Tap free, back on the other side. Powell, tap, Ingram, yes. Oh, the Illini dominating the glass. Freshman wanted to get it into Hanson's hands and turned it over that time. And it's last shot time for the Illini, leading it by 11.
Boy, what a spark Ingram's giving them. A high pick and roll.
Offensive foul is called against Williams. So his first foul. As a big fella enjoys it. The Orange Crush, that's a great group of students over there. The money they raise for charities around here, that's just remarkable. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they sell these T-shirts, and just a great group of youngsters here. You got to give them an awful lot of credit. Pierce penetrating, yes, with time running out in the first half. So the Hawks put up 5 points there towards the end, which helps them. And we go down to Aaron.
All right, Coach. Steve Alford told me before the game he was worried about his team's final 5 minutes before the halftime. Why was your team able to expose them?
Well, I think they don't have much. Their depth is a question mark, and they got to go with their freshmen. And And we kind of wore him down, even with being foul trouble. He made a nice run. Our big guys finally started making some baskets in close. They blocked shots and intimidated us a little early. Finally, we made hit a couple threes. Luther was big for us and just made the nice run.
Coach, thanks. Brent, over to you.
All right, Aaron, one of the things I love about Coach Weber, he is honest, almost to a fault. He'll tell you, 34-25. Now let's join Reese, Jay, and Digger for the UPS halftime report. But here's the good news for the Hawkeyes. They're only down by 9 points here, Steve Lavin. But the bad news is Illinois has been behind in the second half only once all season. That was to Purdue. When you and I were with the Illini, you said to me, Coach is not happy with what's going on here.
No, and the players heard about it. You felt they came out flat, like they didn't even want to be there. And that's the concern. You want your team to perform, even though they're #1 in the country and undefeated, with a hard edge. Come out every day in practice as an opportunity to get better and come out sharp in every game. And tonight, they have not been sharp in their execution or their effort. And that's why the Hawkeyes have hung around.
And when you beat those ones 4 years in a row, were you ever down 9 at halftime?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
There's going to be games like this.
I need a new graphic.
There's going to be games
Lavin's
like
secrets
this.
for the second half.
I'd like these broadcasts that involve #1 teams in the country. Good for the self-esteem. A little boost. we got to get more of these broadcasts.
Ego.
Dan Steer taking care of me. Bert
right.
Magnus.
So here we are with the Illini, the opening possession of the second half. Here's Darren Williams flashing on top off the dribble, penetrating, kick now to the corner. Back to Darren. Passed up the open J. D for three.
Would have been interesting to hear that halftime talk by Coach Weber.
Now Pierce, who was carrying the scoring load, in with that shot. Short. Hansen, turn around, kissed it in nicely.
This entire Hawkeye team, all the starters come back next year. Plus, they're recruiting well. They could be dangerous next year.
So Eric Hansen with his first field goal of the game here. Labs, as we take a look at the stats from the first half, you can see that Illinois did not shoot with a lick, but they dominated the offensive rebounds and they forced turnovers.
And Iowa on the flip side, shooting 45, 46%, but has 12 turnovers. But here they come. Oluska.
So Oluska knocking down that three ball over there. And the margin is 7 right now.
Iowa doing a nice job of some switching man-to-man, some straight man-to-man, keeping the Illini off balance.
And over the back, Pierce trying to get in on the top of Augustine, fouled him. So Pierce picks up the personal foul, and that's his second of the evening.
They just look sluggish. Looks like they're running through a quagmire. Just heavy feet, heavy-legged.
D. Brown couldn't get it to fall inside, but it's Illini basketball.
That's clearly the first time D. Brown and Darren Williams combined for 2 for 4 this year in the first half. Very unusual.
Full shot, deep to Brown. Williams sets a screen. Now Brown pops out around Augustine. Williams continues to run the floor. Here comes D. Brown. Give it up now to Powell. No basket. No basket. And it goes over on that drive.
Second time tonight, Greg Bruner rotating to get in position, planting the feet, and taking the charge. That's the courage right there after the dump off. Even though he's under the basket, picks up that charge. That's that Dave Cowens again. I love him. Every coach wants a 4-man like Greg Bruner. He's got a little Billis or Allery in him. Speaking of old school.
Let's have it back now. Horner misfires on the 3. That would have been huge for the Hawkeyes at that moment. Williams up firing on the iron. Underneath Powell. And another rejection by Hansen, his 3rd of the night. Headman now is Pierce. Pierce puts it down. Offensive foul.
Well, once again, not capitalizing on their possessions. These are opportunities, a chance to cut it to 5. And Pierre Pierce out of control, just running them over. Fans didn't like this. Thought it was clean there. Illini got to do a better job around the basket area of finishing. Those are bunnies, those are chippers.
Tracked down by Head. The jump shot's on the money. Sweet stroke and Luther Head leading the way with 14 points. Pierce a little bit gimpy.
Really, Luther Head and Jack Ingram are the only two who've really showed up tonight for the Illini at both ends of the floor.
Alaska on the drive, blocked by Augustine. Bruner's got it back. And he is fouled. Well, Pierce obviously shaken up here. And this is where it happened here, Steve.
Nice job, but D. Brown just moving his feet to take that charge. He must have come down awkwardly on it.
Looks like the right ankle. He's over with the coaching staff. They can ill afford to have him off the floor. That's how critical he is. Bruner knocks it down. Nick Smith will replace Powell. Looks like going to try to play through the pain.
Sporting those Hirachi Nike shoes. Looks like they'd be something you wear underwater in a 007 movie.
So the Hawkeyes finally shoot free throws in this basketball game. Their first of the night. And it's 39-32. The Illini up 7.
We saw Purdue do this the other night at Michigan State. Dangerously close.
His head on the dribble. Bruner sticks with him. He picks it up, going low now towards Smith. Knocked away. Halaska on the turnover, and Pierce comes out. Bounce pass in low, and Hansen can't finish. Cross to Darren Williams. Bounce low. Augustine coming up. Yes. And one.
Much better job, Brent. Augustine running the floor, putting his head right under the basket in 0-footer position and finished strong. Had his legs under him.
Steve, these guards are so good. Williams pounding it in on the bounce to Augustine. Luther Head could even run the floor, although he doesn't have to. D. Brown, of course, we know all about him out of Proviso East.
Well, very unselfish team. They average 20 assists a game, only 10 turnovers, and that's a team playing at high speeds. Only have 10 turnovers. That's impressive. 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
Not giving the Hawkeyes any offensive rebounds here tonight. Give it back to Halaska, who is fouled as he broke free.
Second time we've seen that tonight. Against pressure defense, when they're extended defensively, they're vulnerable to the back cut. Halaska wisely sees his defender is overextended. Nice pass by Hansen there, able to draw the foul. Guarantee of Big Ten coaches around the conference are taking notes tonight. And what they see is the fact that the front line of Illinois really struggling to finish in the basket area. And that last possession, Augustine did. Ingram had one earlier in the game, but overall, really struggling to finish the bunnies, the point-blank shots.
And missing an opportunity there at the free throw line, so it stays at 10. Down towards 16 minutes in Champaign, Illinois. The Illini 18-0, a record to start a season down here. The march to the arch, that's the dream in Champaign, to get all the way to St. Louis. And the Final Four, and cut down the nets. Luther Head misfiring. Hansen, defensive rebound.
Boy, the Illini love to put the three-pointer up. They've taken over 400 three-pointers this year.
Pierce, tap back Bruner, no. Illini come out. Williams. Great look away pass to Nick Smith, who scores. Darren Williams, the smooth one from Texas.
So smooth, a lot of poise there. Never in a hurry. So often we see guards in college basketball play with ants in their pants, just going a little too quick, scurrying about like hamsters. He's very poised.
He's silky, isn't he? Knocked away from Aluska into Head's hands, and here they come. They pound it low, and Augustine back on top, and Head will fire the three short. Horner's got a head man. Halaska rolls in.
I'll tell you, win or lose, Bruce Weber will have plenty of video to show this team and humble the Illini. He'll have their ears. They may be practicing tonight or tomorrow at 6 a.m. Kind of a lackluster effort.
And Head hits the three.
I I got to say that one more time, Brent. They've taken over 400 three-pointers this year.
That's amazing. 400, now 401. 17 points for Head, and Pierce slips in from the left side. They come back with a steal. Pierce, great 2 plays. Bruner attacks and one. A great 4-play sequence with Bruner on the free throw line, not losing control of this game. Just a tremendous sequence by the Boilermakers. Weber cannot be happy with what the Hawkeyes just did. (47-38) Illinois with the lead, and Pierre Pierce appeared to injure the foot in this manner. Watch him slide as he was trying to dribble drive. And Aaron, what's the situation with Pierce's injury earlier in the season?
Well, Brent, I had a chance to speak with Iowa's SID, Steve Rowe, and he told me in the Hawkeyes game versus Texas in the Maui Invitational, Pierre rolled over a Longhorns player's foot and he suffered a soft tissue bruise in that foot. He didn't miss any time during the season. Looks like he may have re-aggravated it tonight. If I find anything out, of course, I will let you guys know.
Yeah, Aaron, I remember that picture on ESPN. I believe he left on crutches that night. And there was some question as to whether or not he was going to play at all against North Carolina. He's a tough hombre, Steve. He's still playing through it out here.
A lot of courage. We've seen that before. Big Ten Conference Tournament last year had some outstanding games. That first rounder, they got beat, but he played extremely well. 31 points.
Set the Illini lineup here. Luther Head stays with Darren Williams and tried to get it to Powell, who's back on the floor. Ingram is out there now, and so too is McBride, who is checked in. Here's Horner for the Hawkeyes. Pierce still out there, and they've gone to Henderson on the bench. And Bruner stays. Bruner muscling and tried to force one against Ingram.
Double teamed. Nothing there. No daylight. Got to kick that ball out. Got to have much better recognition.
Oh, wide open is Powell. And he couldn't get it to fall. No. McBride is fouled from behind.
Talk about bunnies.
Can't believe that he missed that shot right under. And Saturday now, ESPN. Full day of college hoops. Kansas, Villanova, noon Eastern. And then the studio told you about that night game. Pittsburgh up at Stores to take on Connecticut. That's at 9 Eastern. And that'll be available in high definition on ESPN HD. So call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. Check in on that high definition. Basketball never looked better than in HD. Back now to Powell. Powell sets his feet. Misfires. And yanking it down is Carlton Reed, the freshman from Waterloo.
Powell's just ice cold from distance, at point blank, in mid-range. This is a night where he's got to start giving the ball up and do something else to help his team.
And Horner launches in the three. Jeff Horner, the 6'3" junior from Mason City, Iowa, has made this a 6-point game. Back at the Illini here, the second half. And stepped out of bounds, turned it over on the drive. Here is this huge hoop by Horner, Steve.
Great 2-foot jump stop by Pierre Pierce, particularly when he's got a bad wheel right now. He's limping on the delivery. Horner from long range.
12:53 left in the game. Hanson's up. Augustine is up. Powell will sit.
Iowa, even though they have all those turnovers, they have not allowed the Illini to have one of their patented blitzkriegs, that 18-2, 12-0 run. That's why they're still hanging around.
And Steve, this is a 7-0 Iowa run right now. Horner pops out, just hit that big three. The freshman working with him. Pierce up, firing, yes! And make it a 10-0 Hawkeye run. And they're right back in the thick of this, baby. 47-44.
Wow, with a bad wheel, that's tough to get planted like that. They ran him off 2 screens. Nice look.
Augustine tapped by Ingram. Ingram has contributed some huge points off the bench here.
Well, as you know, Brent, I like Ingram. He's definitely on the all-Hawkeye ballot this year. Hard worker, sparked this team tonight.
Pierce draws the foul, and he's on the free throw line. And Pierce is a candidate for the All-Big Ten team when you watch what he's playing through.
Another bunny inside, missed by Augustine, but there's Ingram to clean up the garbage. He's relishing his role, a fifth-year senior, obviously signed by Bill Self at Tulsa. came to Illinois, intended to play for Bill Self here. And then, of course, Bill Self left. He ends up playing for Bruce Weber, but does a great job in his role, setting screens, dirty work, cleaning up the garbage.
Pierce knocks it down, and it's a 4. And watch how Pierce pops out and goes right over Darren Williams to nail the 3-ball. Luther Head sits down. D. Brown out with McBride, Ingram, Williams, and Augustine. And here comes Pierce attempting now to make this a 3-point game. Short on the free throw, but the Hawkeyes have got it. Thomas knocked away. Here comes Williams, rotating Horner behind the back. Williams slams it down. No basket. Foul by Horner.
Good foul, heads up by Horner.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, would have been continuation in the NBA. Not the other day in that Indiana-Purdue game.
That's on Friday nights.
That's right. Ingram hands it back. D. Brown. Here's Williams. Give it back now. Ingram again going. Thomas battling inside for the rebound. Loose, and D. Brown snares it for the Illini.
Boy, couple key possessions at both ends of the floor. They just couldn't secure the ball.
Now Darren tries to get inside. Good touch pass by D to the corner. Rattles out. Here comes Pierce. But the defense is back. And Pierce pulls it out. Goes to Horner. Fires a 3 off the transition. Whoa!
Like his coach, Steve Alford, dialing it up from long range, Brent.
Look what we've got here, folks. 49-48. With Steve Lavin and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brett Musburger. #1 in a dogfight at home. Pump fake Williams in low now. Augustine back up with it between defenders. Foul on the Hawkeyes. So the flying 3-pointer by junior point guard Jeff Horner. And it's ball game time in Champaign. Steve, the Illini led this game by 13. The Hawkeyes have now battled back. They're within 1. Let's revisit what you said about upsetting #1.
Well, the most important one, they've avoided the knockout punch. The Illini have knocked people out in the first half. They've sometimes done it in the second half. And obviously, now in the second half, Iowa with much better execution. They turned the ball over 12 times in the first half. They've cut down their turnovers. They're getting better looks at the basket. And now they need to be able to catch a break.
Now, you know what else they could use? That unexpected contributor that Steve mentioned, because so far, Pierre, Pierce, and Jeff Horner, now those are starters. That's who you would expect to step up big in a situation like that. But let's say that Eric Hansen joins the scoring fray here. Something unexpected to help the Hawkeyes now. Where's that quarterback when you need him, huh, Hawkeye fans? Let's throw it long. Last play of the Capital One Bowl. All right, here we go. 51-48, 10:58 now. Here's Horner. Luther head on him. Williams, fresh respect for Pierce. He's their leader.
Nice job by Iowa, setting screens.
Reed, the freshman, seeing some big minutes. Whipped inside, knocked away, turn it over. Here comes Williams. One hand, Ingram's open, and Thomas takes him down. No field goal. If you're going to prevent the field goal, you've got to do something like that, Steve. That was a good foul to take there. Ingram was going to roll in on him.
Well, Ingram trailing in the break. Nice find by Williams. Hard foul, a good, clean, hard foul. Ingram is the only player on the front line for the Illini who's bringing that sense of urgency, playing with the hard edge. Sometimes you have to do that in a game like this. You struggle with someone that comes off the bench, and Coach Weber is searching for some combination, some contribution to spark his team. Right now, Powell and Augustine are combined 3 for 21. Just a horrific night from the field. 3 for 21 from Augustine and Powell.
And they've had some 2-footers down there.
Oh, easy shots. And again, we talk about poison oak. It gets contagious. I think everyone starts missing bunnies. Get a little bit uptight, especially when you're #1 in the country.
I love that. Got poison oak and missing them bunnies, folks. Haluska now back on the floor. along with Greg Bruner for the Hawks. We're sitting on a 4, 10:20 to go. Here's Bruner. Augustine's got him, and Pierce gets inside of Williams for the field goal, and it's a 2.
Great inversion by the Hawkeyes, stepping their bigs out and posting up the hot man, Pierce inside. Sometimes little guys play well in the paint. They use their quickness and their agility, their skills to score.
And Steve, that's 19 for Pierce in this game. The head is a little bit quieter in this half. He hasn't taken over like he did in the first half.
Interesting to see how the Illini respond in a close game coming down the stretch. They have not been here this year. They have blown people out by 20 a game.
Kick to the corner. The 3 misses into Holuska's hands. So D. Brown misses the long ball, and now the Hawks can tie it or go ahead. Remember, only one team's been ahead of Illinois in the second half this year. That was Purdue.
Well, that's so critical, Brett, because this is unfamiliar territory for the Illini. They've been up 92% of the time this year.
Tied on the jump shot by Eric Hansen off the glass. Deadlocked at 52. 9:11 to go in Champaign. Nick Smith is up for Coach Weber.
Boy, nice pass by Pierce finding Eric Hansen there, the big 7-footer using the glass.
Heads 3, yes! Luther Head. Their leading score makes it 55-52.
Little punch, counter punch, using the boxing analogies.
Holuska has it knocked away and out of bounds with 18 on that shot clock.
Iowa much sharper, much more precise in their half-court sets, taking care of the basketball. That's going to be critical in these next 8 minutes. On the road, you have to take care of the basketball.
Jeff Horner, Alford's point guard, going to get a break here. Mike Henderson, the sophomore, checks in at the point from Waterloo East. Ingram's down, Smith is in, and a whistle on the drive.
Heads up coaching by Steve Alford off the out-of-bounds play again. Spreading the court, 5 men along the perimeter, and post up Pierce. We see that sometimes in the NBA.
Just to give you an idea of how lethal the Illini are at home, they have won 16 of their 18 home games by double digits, and they were a big double-digit favorite in here tonight against Hawkeye. But the underdog is howling loudly right now with 8:36 to go. Bruner kicks off. Holuska rims around. Rebound Augustine. Down come the Illini.
Might have been a little early in the clock when you got fresh snow and a reset like that after the foul. Make a couple passes, get ball reversal.
Augustine down on his knees, and diving out was Smith with 24 on that shot clock. So Darren Williams sits with the 4th personal foul, and that's because he's had really tough duty against Pierce tonight, trying to defend him, and Pierce has gotten him into foul trouble. Smith back out. To the corner. No. Rebound by Pierce, who's having a monster of a game. Head man now to Henderson. Brown is there. Spins inside. Hansen up. No. And it's knocked out of bounds. Augustine and McBride did not communicate on a rebound. And like Steve Lavin said, call your friends. We're going to watch the Illini under pressure for the first time down the stretch. 55-52, number 1 Illinois leading, but only by 3. And with Aaron Andrews, Steve Lavin, I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you along with us.
Well, the Hawkeyes much more precise, 10 for 18 this half, and the 3-point shot. That's a weapon they're attacking tonight against the Illini from long range. I like this old school little scoop pass, European style, behind the ball. Pierce to Horner, count it.
Steve, the Hawkeyes have hit 55% in the second half, and they've held the Illini to 31%. The Illini only 7 of 22 here in the second half. An amazing percentage, and for the game, there you are. Ends low, not that time for Holuska, and a turnover.
That's the second time Holuska's forced the action. He's got 10 points tonight, having a solid game, but he has to be sure to make that extra pass, not driving into double teams or jacking threes early in the possession.
He wanted a foul on that play. I think you could read his lips as he comes over here.
Again, Brent, can't underscore this enough. 92% of the time this year, Illini has been in comfortable leads. Only 8% trailing.
Bruner attacks. And the foul. So it's 55-52. Free throws, of course, next. We'll take you to the poker tables. Tilt presented by Toyota at 9 Eastern on ESPN. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD, so call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today.
Hawkeyes have done a tremendous job of keeping the Illini out of rhythm offensively all night long. Now you've got Darren Williams on the bench, and that could be the break. We talked about catching a break with him in foul trouble. That's the break the Hawkeyes needed.
There you see the Illini unbeaten on top. 5 teams at 3-1. And hey, let's hear it for Coach Davis. Everybody's been jumping on him. But let me tell you something. Big-time quality win against Michigan. He's recruited a heck of a class. Let's get off his case for a while. That was the toughest non-conference schedule in the conference, and he is on track. Let's give him some props over there with what's going on in Bloomington. I read about all these guys taking his job. Let's beat him first. He's been to the Final Four. Come on.
6 out of 7 wins for Mike Davis. And how about Dan Munson? 3-1 in the conference, 13-4 overall, having a heck of a year with the Gophers. 2 coaches came in the hot seat, both responding.
Augustine steps out. Heads tightened up. Great Iowa defense. What defense that was. And then Heads got it right back. He'll go to the rack. Draws the foul. And Horner upset with himself. After they had the ball, they let it get away here at midcourt. Turnovers. If it wasn't for the turnovers, the Hawkeyes would be ahead in this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, they could open up a bakery with all the turnovers they've had tonight. Something, look at the sequence right here. Something's wrong with Augustine tonight. And again, Iowa with the ball, not capitalizing. Horner, too smart of a player to make that mistake. He should have continued to push the ball until he got a commitment defensively, then give it up. But I'll tell you what, Augustine almost looks anemic, almost like he's malnourished tonight. Just a step slow. He may have to go with Ingram and just ride Ingram.
I got to tell you something. He had Kleenex yesterday on the floor. He is fighting a cold,
Theraflu?
or touch of the flu. He came late to practice. They told me his classes today. I don't think he's 100% physical. I think you read him perfectly.
Well, then I think Coach Weber needs to put Ingram in the game, maybe ride with him.
Now Pierce puts it down off the dribble, penetrates, and they've turned it over again. There it is, another turnover. Here comes D. Brown popping out. Ed gives it back on the pick and roll to Augustine, who would bailed out by the blocking foul.
Doug Thomas didn't quite have the angle there. He rotated over, but he's got to square himself if you expect to get that call. Little pick. Augustine slips the pick, uses the bounce, fortunate there, but I think Doug Thomas did not square his body. Got to take it right on the chest. You expect to get a charge call.
Joe Thomas, the JC youngster, number 23, he also picks up number 4. So we've got Thomas on the floor with 4, and Alford at 6'52". He may elect to let him go. Not one of his regulars. Strong, big body youngster, and had a great JC career.
This could be a break for Augustine, who does probably have that flu, because you make a couple free throws. Sometimes that builds your confidence for other dimensions in your game, other aspects of your games, if you make a couple free throws.
But the big stat, and we cannot overemphasize it, that has plagued Iowa, they have turned it over 19 times here tonight, and they're down by 4, 6:52 to go. The crowd on its feet in Champaign. And Hightower stops it. Pointed up at the shot clock. So it froze up, and the officials and the scores table now will straighten out the clock. And Steve, everything is at a critical point here. You know, the Hawkeyes can't lose contact at all.
I'd like to see the Hawkeyes, I'm sure Coach Alford wants the same thing, go back through Pierre Pierce. They did a nice job of getting involved. Then Haluska started taking too many shots, and they went away from their go-to guy. Even if they play make through him, he doesn't necessarily have to take the shot, but by posting him up, bringing him off screens, he can also be a decoy and set his teammates when he draws that help defense.
And let's check in with Aaron.
Well, guys, after their sluggish start to the Big Ten Conference, Iowa going 0-2, head coach Steve Alford decided to wipe the slate clean. Fresh start. He said, let's throw out the non-conference records. Let's throw out the conference records. Let's start over. So they started over with that game versus Minnesota, their very last game. He said they even erased those league standing boards in their locker room. Looks to have worked tonight, guys, so far.
Yeah, they're doing a good job here. Darren, when you lose your home opener, and they did to Michigan, you dig yourself a hole early. And you're always kind of in a conference like the Big Ten or the ACC, Big 12, Pac-10, Big East, power conferences, Conference USA. You really have to dig out of that when you lose your home serve in a big conference game.
Well, you have to look back long enough to learn, but then you have to move forward. You got to flush the last one, but you do need to watch film and do the drill work and practice to get better, patch up those deficiencies, then move forward.
Steve, what a week we've had. The venues that you and I have visited over the last week, and then on Saturday, we're going to be in Cincinnati. Can't wait to see Coach Huggins against Wake Forest. That very excruciatingly difficult loss for the Demon Deacons down in Tallahassee. Great job by Leonard Hamilton and the Seminoles. Some of you will see Air Force against BYU, and then out west, it'll be Stanford against USC. But what were those buildings that we've been in over the last 8 days?
Wow, what a tour. The Cole Center, McHale Center, the Breslin Center, Assembly Hall. That might be the 4 best large venue arenas in terms of toughest places to play. But I think there's a different category. The Cracker Jacks, the small old school venues like Mac Court at Oregon, Cameron Indoor Stadium, Maples, Haas Pavilion, what used to be Harmon Gym when Pete Newell was there back in the day. Those are great small old time like Fenway Park or Wrigley Field college basketball environments, but they're both really special. And this is right up there with some of the best at Assembly Hall.
Has this been the longest clock correction that we've had for certainly on this tour?
Final 4 refs, Ted Hillary, Eddie Hightower. They got to get Steve Wellmer in the Final 4. He hasn't quite been appointed to the winner's circle yet. Hasn't made it to the Final 4. We got to get him in there.
Give it back. They were trying to go through Pierce, like Steve said, and it will be Hawkeye ball. 23 on that shot clock. So just like you said they should do, they were trying to get through him. And remember now, I said earlier that I thought Luther Head could play defense with that long reach. And Williams in foul trouble. Head has been taking Pierce, who has been quiet. Thomas steps out on top.
Surprised they haven't gone back to that set of posting up Pierre Pierce. They haven't stopped it yet.
Horner fires a 3. Bounce. Will he get it? No. But Augustine for the defensive rebound, and here come the Illini.
Too many possessions without Pierre Pierce either taking the ball in the hole or posting up or taking a shot himself.
Steve, I cannot say enough about Luther Head's basketball performance this year. And prior to that 3, out of bounds on that side, D. Brown. Weber can't believe it over there. He had a good view of it.
One of those nights. Odd rhythm when your players are stepping out of bounds. It's tough to coach that or teach that. Stay in bounds, fellas. Might be a good start.
Now the Hawkeyes can get back to within 2. It'll be Pierce attacking. Left hand. No. Rebound Augustine. Head did just enough that time.
Well, you can't fault Pierre Pierce forcing the action there a little bit, trying to carry his team because they've struggled at the offensive end of the floor in the last couple possessions.
D. Brown pops right side. They load Powell. Powell attacks. Kick now. Here's Head. Augustine in behind Thomas, who was fronting him. Now 6 on the shot. Head with 4. Crowd counts down. 3. Fires left side. No. Rebound by Horner. Wraps it up at the 5:11 mark. So the Hawkeyes and Steve Alford will call a timeout. Still in it in Champaign. 5:10 to go. 58-54. Right now in college basketball, there are 4 teams chasing a ghost from Indiana. The last team to go through an entire season undefeated. 1975-76. Kent Benson and the Hoosiers of Indiana under Coach Bob Knight winning the national championship. Illinois 18-0, uneasy tonight. Kansas will go to Villanova Saturday. Duke at tough Florida State in Tallahassee. Boston College at suddenly a rejuvenated St. John's. And isn't that a remarkable story? Those are your 4 remaining unbeatens.
Well, that's what happens in conference play. Talked about it earlier, Brent. Your margin for error is compressed because people scout. They watch video. They know the tendencies. They know how to play you and take away your strengths, force you to play a different way.
Let's see what Alford diagrammed in that timeout.
I'd like to see the alignment of posting up Pierre Pierce or bringing them off the double staggered screens.
They come through Haluska against McBride. And Pierce is trying to post, and Lutherhead is trying to fight him. Pierce coming in, double team, not there, tap Thomas, no. And a foul is called against the Illini.
Good call by Steve Welmer. He was there. Powell got underneath. Commits the foul against Doug Thomas.
So Powell picks up the personal foul. That's only his second.
I like the isolation here for Pierce, battling down low among the big fellas. And there you see the push by Roger Powell.
Now Doug Thomas out of Pasadena, California. 6'8". Junior JC transfer rattled out and into Augustine's hands.
Another squandered opportunity by the Hawkeyes. Coming up empty. That hurts when you're on the road.
D. Brown's got to hustle to the dribble, and he does. Now down to 4.5. Head attacks on the run. Wrap, no. Got it back, knocked loose. Dive for it, out of bounds. Hawkeye basketball.
Tough to make those little dribbles inside traffic there.
Well, tonight, over on ESPN2, it'll be Marquette and DePaul, 2 of the top scorers. Travis Diener and cousin Drake Diener will tee it up on Throwdown Thursday.
Illinois was fortunate to get that offensive rebound, but Head trying to dribble in a closet. No room in there. Poor spacing led to a turnover.
Now Eric Hansen and Bruner are back in. Thomas will take a seat for the Hawkeyes at the 4:12 mark. Here's Bruner. The handoff. Pierce inside of 4 minutes, 7 on the shot. Pierce going on Lutherhead. Out of control as he came in. It's a held ball situation, and it belongs to the Hawkeyes. So on the held ball situation, it's 58-54, the Illini with the lead. All right, Reese, here it's 3:56, 58-54, the Illini leading Iowa. You know, the Hawkeyes came in here a year ago and played a great game against Illinois. The final was 88-82 Illini, but only by 6. And then over in Iowa City, the Illini won at 78-59. So the shot clock with 5 seconds remaining. Hawkeye basketball. Bruner puts his shoulder down, attacks on the runner. No, tap back, and Hansen's got a huge rebound. He'll come off Augustine. No, tap, no. And pulled away by Powell, and the foul is going to be called. It's against the Hawkeyes, and Hansen, and Alford says, are you kidding me? Now back to the Keys on beating #1, Steve.
Well, in that last play, Alford feels like he couldn't catch a break from the officials, but they've done all 3 of these except the unexpected contributor. No one has stepped off the bench. Hansen hasn't had the kind of offensive night. Somebody had to do something. The other 3 they covered. They've avoided the knockout punch. They've sustained their execution other than turnovers.
And that's a huge 5th foul on their center, Eric Hansen. So he will have to sit down, and that means with Thomas, who has 4, will check back in here with 3:44. So if there's going to be an unexpected contribution, this young man needs to finish the game and pull down some rebounds.
Yeah, and again, they also caught the break. The break, even though Coach Alford didn't get that last call from the officials, was the fact that Darren Williams was on the bench for such a sustained period of time. Now he's back in the game to try and close it down. When you play the #1 team in the country on the road, somebody has to have either a career night or an unexpected contributor. It just didn't happen for Iowa to this point.
Lead is 6. 60-54, 3:44. And Luther Head, who has done a tremendous job defensively here on Pierce, who was slowed by that foot injury. Attack, Bruner, runner good, back to 4.
Nice quick hitter for Iowa. I like the fact that Bruner could put the ball on the floor, could shoot the ball from long distance and post up.
The 3, no rebound. There's Thomas. Defensive rebound. Contributing that time. Here comes Pierce, puts it down on Head. Knocked away, beautiful by Luther Head. Out of bounds. Hawkeye basketball.
Boy, is he cat quick.
I'm going to tell you something. He's had some problems down here. Coach Weber gave him a second chance. He straightened it out. You got to pull for this young man. Doing the things now. Candidate for Player of the Year in the Big Ten. Coming out of nowhere. When you talk about these 3 guards, you would have never thought that Luther Head would be at the head of the class, but here he is. Pierce gives it back. Steal Augustine. Not a good pass. Head will hand it off now to Williams.
I think they got Augustine some Theraflu. He was flying a jet on that play. Nice anticipation on the soft lob pass. Not much velocity. Jumps into the passing lane, comes up with a big steal, Brent.
Williams puts it down now, hands it off to Powell, eats some seconds up, and here's D, whips it over to Luther Head. Williams will slow down the pace, bring it down toward 230. D Brown off a curl. Back to Williams, now 7 on the shot. He attacks, Bruner cuts him off, tried to get Powell, they've turned it over.
Tell you, tough night on the front line for the Illini. It just seems like when the guards penetrate for Illinois, the big men are not ready with their hands up, fingertips to the sky, flexed and coiled. These guys will drop you some dimes, but you got to be ready for the passes.
Hawks looking to make it a 2 again. Thomas will hand it off now. Horners attack, double team, bad pass. Williams stepped into the pass. Brown's open. D floats in. It's 6 and we've got 2:11.
Great double team by the Illini. It was a long diagonal pass picked off.
That was the 21st Hawkeye turnover here tonight. And we check in with Reese.
All right, Brent, over on ESPN2, we showed you Travis Diener earlier. Here is the responsible opposing Diener for DePaul. Drake Diener will lead the Blue Demons against Marquette. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Let's take another look at this steal here, Steve.
Well, great double team by Augustine D. Brown. Horner splits the trap, but the help uphill, up the line by Darren Williams to get that steal. That's a tough diagonal cross-court pass.
You can't make that pass, Steve. Well, here's a future high-definition telecast on Friday in the NBA. Pacers in the Heat, 8 Eastern. Then, of course, Saturday night, remember, Pittsburgh and Connecticut. And then Monday, Big Monday, Duke, North Carolina. So there's some great basketball action coming your way in ESPN HD. Here we've got 2 minutes to go. #1 Illinois has a shaky 6-point lead. Hawkeyes have the basketball. Luther Head pops out now with Pierce. Haluska's on the inside to the glass. Augustine defensively. Williams tries to track it down. Can't. Hawkeye basketball.
Haluska's forced a lot of shots this half. The penetration I like. He's got a 2-foot jump stop that and kick that one double team. But Iowa is trying to go at Darren Williams to get his 5th foul and get him out of the game.
I got to say,
that's why Haluska's a little more aggressive.
Alford's team has played with so much heart. So much heart in here. Down by 13. Battling back in this game. You can't say enough about the Hawkeyes here tonight.
I think this Iowa team really banded together last year in January and February. They had some kids that were ineligible, some defections, some kids that transferred. They finished 9-7 in the league, and I think Coach Alford did some of his best coaching last year, and then the momentum carried over to this year. The nucleus is back.
Horner has a Bruner screen. Brown switches it. Now they give out to Bruner. Bruner fires good from the baseline, and it's a 4 at a minute and a half. Smallest margin. There's the bragging rights game in St. Louis against Missouri. Steve and I were there that night. Mizzou gave them all they wanted.
Might be too early to go 4 corners here. They'll probably try and get a quick hitter at the end of the clock.
Good free throw shooting team. You pick your poison when you put one of those guards on the free throw line. Down to 1-5. Williams attacks on Pierce. Jump shot. Good.
Good execution, using some clock, putting the ball in the hands of Williams.
Thomas gives it back to Pierce. What a job Luther Head has done defensively on Pierce here in the second half. Stayed with him, inside of him this time, and drains the 3. That time he got him in the air, got inside of him, and it's a 3-point game.
Full court press by the Hawkeyes. It's a fatigued Hawkeye team right now. Very short bench, playing a lot of heavy minutes.
Down to 38 seconds left. 64-61. So the Hawks foul here with 35 seconds to go.
Look at this up fake against a good defender, long defender in Luther Head. Up fake, step through, in the air. Nice grip and rip. How about Darren Williams over there on the bench for 10 minutes? Comes off the bench. They run some clock. Dribbles so smoothly into the lane for a little pull-up mid-range game. Young players so often try and take it all the way to the hole. There's nothing wrong with a mid-range jump shot.
First free throw of the night. He got himself into foul trouble against Northwestern, and now he has missed his first free throw here with 35 seconds to go. So the flops are coming up next on Tilt. Made for TV drama, you'll enjoy it. Williams rattles out, missed them both, and here they come. Down 3, 32 seconds. Pierce yo-yoing, gets a Bruner pick, got it back. They jump Bruner, the corner. Haluska attacks to make it a 1. It's 64-63 and a timeout with 22 seconds.
Good execution by the Hawkeyes, the high pick and roll. They got the Illini trying to double team, got him in rotation. That led to the quick ball movement. Haluska from the corner, dribble penetration with the flush. Showing some ups, some verts, some range in his game.
The timeouts remaining, Hal. The Hawkeyes are without any. So Alford has got to set it both ways here.
Watch the high pick and roll. We're going to catch the end of it. Actually, nice give up by Bruner. He's been heads up all over the floor. And then the driving dunk. Bruner with the quick pass, the flush by Haluska.
Steve, that pass was so aware up on top because the Illini triple team him out on top, and Haluska was standing all over there to begin his assault. I mean, too many guys jumped him on top.
Yeah, Coach Weber will be reviewing that one. In rotation, you don't want to be triple teaming the ball at the top of the floor.
Last time the Illini suffered any kind of a loss, that was against Purdue. 72-3 in their last 75 games here.
Well, clearly with 22 seconds to go in this situation, trailing by 1, they're going to try for a 5-second call on the inbound or a steal. If they don't get it, they're going to have to foul right away, deny the better free throw shooters, and hope one of the poor free throw shooters for the Illini gets a catch where you can foul and put him at the line and take your chances.
So the Illini, they will use another timeout over here, giving them a good rest, and Coach Weber talking to his guards. Williams right in front of him. And Pierce, we can't say enough about him playing through that pain. Aaron told us about the injured foot. Let's take a look at what Pierre Pierce, the junior from Westmont, Illinois, has been able to accomplish playing through this pain. Getting inside of Williams. This was in the first half, and he got Williams into foul trouble. Anytime you see him against number 5, you know that this came early in the game. Then they put Luther Head on him. Head had done a great job until that moment right there when he got Luther in the air, slipped in underneath him, and drained the three. 21 points tonight and 5 assists for him. Big-time performance.
I think when the Hawkeyes review game film, Coach Alford and his staff will wonder why they didn't go back to that alignment of using Pierre Pierce inside, inverting, stepping the bigs away. Very tough to defend him on the block.
All the Badgers watching closely up in Madison. They still want this Illinois team to show up undefeated. They want to get a shot at this record. Meanwhile, the Hawkeyes are trying to close the deal in Champaign. And they call a foul down there. Teddy Hilary, Alford didn't want that foul back there.
I think Coach Alford wanted to get Roger Powell to the line.
Instead, it's D. Brown. Here's a young man who has worked so much on his shooting here this year. That shooting drill that Coach Weber prefers, where you start from about 3-4 feet and you shoot just one-handed. You put the ball back in your hand and you shoot. You hit about 10 in a row, then you back up, and eventually you get to the free throw line. And it is amazing what that drill does for shooters.
Well, Ernie Hobby, the shot doctor out of the East Coast, who used to work with many college teams and the New Jersey Nets over the years, that's actually his little drill to starting close, like putting on the green. You start close, you don't start off the green, then you back out gradually to get that memory muscle reflex stroke. See a little sight job here by Jeff Horner trying to get in the ear of D. Brown. He's shooting 80% though from the line. D. Brown is.
20.6 seconds, and D. Brown makes it 65-63.
If he makes this, the old dilemma, do you foul with a 3-point lead and try and put the Hawkeyes at the line?
Rattled out, makes it moot. Down a deuce now. Trailing by 2, no timeouts, remember. They had to have this play set in the previous huddle. Pierce will give it now to Bruner. Bruner will attack, go to the glass, the floater's good. We're tied at 65, 2.6 at the buzzer. No, we go to overtime in Champaign.
Steve Alford, just like his mentor, Bobby Knight, choosing not to call a timeout, uses the opportunity off the rebound in the scattered floor to take advantage of a defense that wasn't organized, and it works out well for the Hawkeyes in the driving.
Hold the flop, everybody. Tilt will have to wait. We've got overtime. So we go to overtime. The #1 Fighting Illini forced into OT on this play. And as Bruner attacks, watch the clock. Now 3.0 seconds left, they go out of bounds. If you were Illinois and Bruce Weber, would you have called a timeout there?
Well, no question. I mean, we saw in that home run play that Purdue had against Indiana, there's still plenty of time. We've seen over the years Duke with that baseball pass to Leitner in that great Kentucky game in the NCAA tournament. So there was plenty of time, and I know Coach Weber in his playbook has length of the court plays.
Hey, Jay Billis. Yo, Jay, take a look at your monitor, big fella. Here comes Jungle Jim Leskatoff right at you, big fella. Time running out, and here he comes. Greg Bruner goes to the rack and shoots the floater to send us to overtime. He had a double-double against Minnesota earlier this year, the junior from Charles City, Iowa. What a huge moment for him. And the Hawkeyes and the Illini now to the 5-minute overtime.
Unusual size and strength and brawn with the skills for Greg Bruner. Combines all those.
Tap over and the Illini control it in overtime. Remember, Williams is playing with 4 fouls. Thomas is playing with 4 fouls.
Another first for the Illini, playing in overtime this year.
And D. Brown misses a 3 to start it. And Bruner is there with the defensive rebound. He said, I got hit right in the eye. We got to have a little timeout. I got to contact lens, I believe. So a little injury stoppage of play here. And again, if you were with us, just a reminder that when we're finished, we will go to Tilt, the poker movie. So that flop is still to come. Folks, you're not going to miss 5th Street. Trust me on that one.
The Illini coming into tonight's game averaging 81 points a game. Here we are in overtime, and they're sitting on 65. The fans not happy, thinking the Hawkeyes are pulling a fast one here. trying to delay the game, but that's a legitimate contact lens.
Yeah, there was no question about it. I think the fans are just very uneasy about the entire evening here tonight. I mean, who would have expected this?
Out of sorts, out of kilter. Steve Alford loves it. Bruce Weber extremely frustrated as a result.
Another sluggish start for the Illini. Then they stretched, pulled away, got up by 13. Looked like they were going to shut the door. The Hawks dug in, came behind Pierre Pierce, got themselves close, and Bruner tied it and sent it to overtime.
I think Bo Ryan is still up taking notes.
He's probably enjoying it.
Maybe the Illini can expect the same deal up at the Kohl Center. It's not going to be pretty.
There's 5 guys sitting at 3-1 and saying, beat the Illini, man. Get on them. Pierce misfires into Williams' hands, and he'll bring it back for the Illini. Flip it across now, and Head will come firing for the 3-ball. Misfired. Augustine has it knocked away. Alaska comes down. And if he could have gotten the ball to Pierce, Pierce was ahead of the pack that time.
Augustine should have cleaned up that rebound better.
Pierce has it stripped. On the turnover, try to get D. Brown. Corner's back. Brown says, let's go. He'll shoot a pair. Tried to flip it in as he was being fouled. And D. Brown comes to that free throw line, and that's 3 on the point guard.
One of the few times the Roadrunner, the beep-beep, was able to get out in transition. It was off that deflected pass, which allowed Iowa to get back. Horner not happy with the foul call. A little whirling dervish by the Roadrunner. But Iowa's done a great job of scrambling back defensively and not giving many open court opportunities for this Illini team.
So the march to the arch has hit a roadblock in Champaign. And the Fighting Illini are in overtime against Iowa, leading by 1 with their spark plug D. Brown, putting them up at the free throw line.
Surprised Iowa doesn't go at Darren Williams with his 4th foul, try and get him out of the game. They can't force, but they need to probe and at least look.
Head fouling Pierce, who was running the baseline. And Head is assessed the personal foul. And folks, that's his first personal foul of the night. He has played this tough on defense into overtime and picks up his first personal.
Well, we always talk as coaches about intensity with intelligence. Play hard, but play smart. And that's what Luther Head's done tonight. On that last possession, Augustine needs to clean up that rebound and then squeeze the ball with the elbows out on your chest, under your chin, protecting it, especially in overtime. No excuse for that.
You see these students right there? They don't even see him on a free throw line. The sight line here at Assembly Hall, right over their head. And now the Illini come down, leading by 1. 67-66. Here comes Williams, the pull-up. Air ball. Hawks have got it. Here comes Horner. They can take the lead.
Bruner got a piece of that, Brent.
Bruner has had some last few minutes on a pick and roll. Pierce kicks corner. This time Head will not give Holuska the baseline. Williams is out on Horner. D. Brown is on Pierce. And they load Bruner. Pull up over Augustine, little short, battle rebound, no. Illinois basketball. Three minutes left in overtime. Luther Head picks up the dribble. Augustine will give it back to him. Ten on the shot.
Very tentative Illini team.
Now 5 on the shot. Head attacks, and on the outside, Holuska.
Smart move by Luther Head, taking the ball off the dribble.
Holuska has fouled out of the game. He joins Hansen. 2 starters have fouled out with 2.5 minutes to go. And now that unexpected hero that Steve Lavin has talked about all night has to step up here.
See how tired Iowa is. Giving a tremendous effort, playing with a lot of courage. Pierre Pierce with a bad wheel. Just a short bench, not a lot of experience on their bench, but performing admirably well. And that was smart of Luther Head to put the ball on the floor instead of settling for a jump shot. Give your team a chance to get fouled, get yourself to the free throw line.
Steve, sophomore guard Mike Henderson from Waterloo East High School. He will check into the lineup.
Tough. Throw him in the game. Been on the bench over there in the freezer. You step into overtime against the #1 team in the country. But what a great opportunity. Like a pinch hitter, you got to be ready.
And he adds to it. And here's an announcement. You poker players, move on into the room. We're about ready to start tilt. We're 2.5 minutes away. We're in overtime. Illinois 69, Iowa 66. A Big Ten beauty. The underdog has been howling all night over here in ice cold Champaign.
At the high pick and roll for Pierce.
Horner comes up firing. Rebound by Augustine. 69-66. Now we're down to 2 minutes. Steve Alford, would you play poker with him? He's pretty calm. He's got a pretty good poker face. Weber would give it away. He's way too emotional over there on the Illini. You'd love to sit at the poker table with him. Williams, kick back now to Brown. D lost the dribble. Hawkeyes dive for it.